Hello and welcome to the March 2026 Stamp Your Stash video. Our theme this month is Easter and Spring Showers. If you missed the announcement about Stamp Your Stash, I'll link the video at the end so that you can watch that and get all the information about what we're doing this year. All year we're working 1 month ahead so that we'll have cards ready to go by the time the next month starts. So again, our theme this month is Easter and Spring Showers, and then we always have some sub-themes so that when you're going to your stash and pulling out some different stamp sets to use for the month, you'll have some different maybe kind of words and things to think about as you're looking at your stamp set. That'll just help narrow down your choices and just give you just kind of a nice little collection of stamps to use throughout the month. So our sub-themes this month are crosses, lilies, bunnies, eggs, tulips and flowers, baby showers, bridal showers, rain, umbrellas, rain boots, and then birthdays, because we always need some birthday cards. So I'm going to be sharing the stamp sets that I pulled as well as the cards that I made with them, and hopefully just give you some different ideas of ways to maybe use, whether it's your older stamp sets or your newer ones. It's always kind of fun to maybe just get some different ideas. So stick around and I'll show you what I created for this month. And just as I'm getting started here, if you see any that are in a package kind of like this, any stamps, it's because I pulled them off of the wooden block and I used them that way. So this little He is Risen with the dove, I pulled, the sticker off the wooden block as well as the stamp and put the label on here. And I do have some of my stamp sets that way, not all of them, but you'll see a few of them this month. So first of all, with Easter being in April, of course I had to pull this one, the He is Risen, the Easter Dove single stamp, and I heat embossed that in gold onto this designer series paper that has kind of a scene on it, and made a little frame and die cut a couple flowers. The next card that I made here is I made using the Tags and More set from 2001 from Stampin' Up. And this set just has a whole bunch of single images and a stamp that you can use to make a tag, a to and from tag. So I stamped that little bunny onto the Everyday Arches die, added some other cardstock and designer series paper behind it. The sentiment, I did use this Reason to Celebrate. This is a current set from Stampin' Up, and this is an awesome set. It just has all the different holidays and occasions, and you can mix and match the words. You're going to see this on a few of the cards that I made. So I used the Happy and the Easter. And then the carrots down the side, I used the Market Goodness, the little carrots in the top here, and the die to cut them out. So I thought that made kind of a cute little border. I did even add some little fun flock for his puffy tail there. So there's that one. The next card is another Easter card, and I used the Just for Fun from 2000. Again, a whole bunch of kind of just single images that you can just use for a little focal image on a card or a tag. And I made this little Happy Easter card. I used 3 different kind of spring colored designer series paper, my very favorite embossing folder, the plaid. And then I liked this layout well enough that I made another card using the same exact layout. So the 3 colors of designer series paper, the embossed strip, and the perennial postage die to cut out that main image, and even these little gems that I found in my stash. This one was made using the Fun and Fast Notes stamp set. So again, a bunch of single images, really cute, and it has this little get well wishes in it. So I made a little get well card, and I pulled this paper actually because, spring showers was one of our themes, and it has the rain, the rainbows, and some clouds. So I thought that kind of made, a fun little spring showers, but also, you know, if you're not feeling that well, you're kind of under the weather. I thought that turned out kind of cute. So I guess I kind of wanted to show these to say you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you sit down to create something. If you find a layout, a card sketch, or a template that you really like, keep making more cards with it. You know, you don't have to, like, you know, come up with something completely new each time. Go ahead and just keep using the same layout over and over, because they can look completely different depending on what colors and things you use. The next card I made was a little happy birthday card. I saw this cute little rain boot in this Happy You Hostess set from Stampin' Up. Again, there's kind of a theme here with all these just really single images in all the sets, but I saw this little rain boot and I thought that was so cute, and again goes along with the spring showers, you know, kind of wanting that umbrella or rain boot kind of a theme. So I pulled that out and I thought that was just so cute to use as a focal image with a bunch of pastel spring colors. And again, that happy birthday is from the Reason to Celebrate set. And this one I actually did as a little bit of a fun fold. So this front, and I stamped Another Wonderful Year on the inside. I did the back panel in just cardstock, added some designer series paper along the sides, and then have the this card on the front that's smaller with, you know, adhered to just those back panels. So a little bit different, just to change things up. Okay, and again, I will say, don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel. I did kind of the same style of card for this one. I saw this little cloud with the hearts coming down out of it in this set called Hello Love, another Hostess set from Stampin' Up. And I just thought that was so cute. It's a little hard to see the Hello Love in that cloud. I did a stamping technique called stamping with markers. That was one of the stamping techniques that I taught here on my channel. I can link that below. But I inked up the entire stamp with markers. So I used a gray, a pool party, and then I believe Calypso Coral for the little hearts coming down out of the cloud. Die cut a few little hearts. Again, used my favorite plaid embossing folder, and you'll see that on almost all these cards. Again, once you find something you really like, you don't have to shy away from using it. Keep using it on more and more on your cards, and don't feel bad about that. So I did that. You'll also see I did some white ink splattering on some of my cards this month, just to kind of keep some of the same techniques going throughout. So there was that one. And then I found this Happiest Birthday Wishes. It's actually a set of two different stamp sets, and it's hard to see because I have all these stamps just shoved in this other side, but I will show you the cards. There's this big happy birthday stamp that I thought was just so cute, and I actually used an ombre stamping technique on that for both of these. And that's the stamping technique video for this month, for the month of March. And you can check that out on my channel as well. So you can see that I use the Pool Party and Shaded Spruce for this one, Poppy Parade and Pretty in Pink on this one. And these are shaped cards. I use the Everyday Arches dies to make just something a little different, some shaped cards. And I based my colors on the designer series paper that I grabbed from my stash. Okay, and I did this one because of the eggs. I found this set called Nature's Nest in my stash. And this little nest with the eggs in it I thought was so cute. So I paired that actually with the little bit newer set called Nested Friends. So I used the branch and the bird out of Nested Friends and mixed that with this one and came up with this little hello card. I'm probably going to pull this out next month as well, but like I said, for the egg theme, you know, kind of trying to narrow down our stash, thinking about Easter eggs and eggs, how can I, you know, pull some of those from my stash that I haven't used in a while. So that's why I pulled that one out. And then you're probably going to keep seeing this set over and over all year. This cute little Loads of Love, my favorite little truck. And in the Loads of Love accessories, there are some Easter eggs and extra special Easter wishes stamp. And the card I made is this little truck with a back end full of Easter eggs, a bunch of little banners across here that say extra special Easter wishes. Thought that turned out cute. That'll always be one of my favorite stamp sets. So like I said, you're probably going to see it for every occasion this year. Last but not least, I have this Oh So Lovely set. This is one of my favorite sets, and this is a little background that you can use and just some kind of stems, really simple. But I love this one here that kind of looks like it has some berries at the top. So I use that just to make kind of a springy card. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit more fallish with those colors, but I just added some extra techniques on this one. I used a background stamp, this kind of a script, colored this in with some alcohol markers. I did a little embossing on this circle, added my favorite twine. So have just a little sending happy thoughts card for someone. Thank you so much for joining me for the March 2026 Stamp Your Stash inspiration video. I hope that this gave you some ideas and ways to use stamp sets that you already have in your stash, maybe some newer stamp sets that you've gotten that you can start playing with and making some greeting cards with. If you haven't heard about Stamp Your Stash, I will link the video to down below so you can go check that out and go to my website leahfaehandmade.com and get signed up so that you'll get the emails and some different free resources and gifts and goodies related to this. Anyway, I hope that you will tag me on social media if you do Stamp Your Stash, if you're playing with any of these themes, or if you make any of these if you make a card using one of my inspiration cards here. I would love to see it. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your day.